involved in this project, but none more important than the man who designed the set and the spacecraft and the gun and the whole production design of the entire show, without whose concepts and brilliance and genius, none of this would be happening today. And if I could remember his name...
Hey, I didn't get my shot.
Oh, I'm sorry. How about a big hand for Chuck Davis?
Well, it all is initiated with a story conference with the producer, and in this case we were fortunate enough to have the cinematographer as well. And out of that came a style that we all agreed on.
Tell us about the designing of the shuttlecraft.
They were designed modularly so that we could have the capabilities of expanding them to make them larger. In one instance, one vehicle that is not shown here on stage is over 60 feet long, and that appears in the first landing at the refinery. That vehicle then, by removing modules, we could reduce it down to the size of this, and a further reduction, and it gets it down eventually to the size of the small fighters. 7 noses and tails, 5 vehicles which we used and will use today, and 2 of them we blew up. If we show people getting into one of these, and then we show one of these approaching the mothership, and it becomes a very minute dot compared to this huge craft, now we're starting to say something about the direction that we're trying to go with size. The miniatures are direct replicas to these. So the miniatures are geared off of what we've established in full size. They're used in the motion control process that allows us to marry up the miniatures with our full-size sets. I don't think you can really do anything wrong, because who's to say what the inside of this would really look like? And that's where some of the fun came in, because in my department, with the staff of people that we have, tremendously talented people, they all had their ideas and their input. And in many instances, I just became a funnel that all that talent poured into, and I got to rechannel it where it best applied. They helped come up with the concepts of being able to make it longer or shorter, and the ways to move it. They never have any problem blowing them up.
Right. Well,
you give these guys a chance, they'll blow up darn near anything.
we've blown one up twice. We blew it up and brought it back into our facility on stage here, stage 2. Rebuilt it in 4 days and blew it up again. And actually, I think it looked better the second time.
But it's not worth fixing again.
No.
It's a fun project to put together.
Enormously fun.
We were higher than this, Bobby, weren't we? Yes, we were. Because I was up a couple of rungs, and the lens was right over my head. Okay, Richard, Jenny, on the ship, please.
Where's that white line we had?
The chalk mark has been picked up. No, that's not it.
Oh, right there it is.
No, it was right.
Okay, that should be the mark.
No, that's right. Right around in here.
That's the mark right there.
Where, here?
No, over to your right, left. Sorry. Back up, right.
Jenny, give me a number if you're on.
I think the bottom frame line was lower than that, John.
It shouldn't be,
Okay.
if you want to have the guys on the catwalk.
Yeah, that's what we had. I think so, too. Yeah, we're just on the set. Right. Okay. Okay, let's do it. You guys on the catwalk, no spitting. Here we go.
Turning.
Barker.
And background. Action. Here. Here, all right.
There, a little more.
Your background who are passing the Earth people, might give them a couple of glances and check them out a little bit. It's the first time you're seeing them on board here. Same with the fellas upstairs. Take a looking down a little bit, trying to see what you can see. Checking out the Earth females. You're going to be here for a while. Janie works next with Jenny and Richard, up on the top. Okay, and some background people in the background coming along behind. We'll be up there, up on this one. Then we'll jump into the far end and come across.
I was watching all those rehearsals.
Were you? Yeah, well, that's what I was rehearsing them up there. So we'll come across them into the main body of the show. That was the piece that we were going to shoot at CBS, and we'll do it here instead. Okay.
Jack?
Well, it's a shadow recorder. How tight on Jenny am I? I'm right into here. Jimmy here. I'm on 100 millimeter, which is full figure, a little more than full figure, walking down to Sharon and Cynthia at the far end.
Full figure, Jimmy.
Full figure, Jimmy. Don't do anything repulsive. And then, we'll put all the plate shots at the end, and then we'll play musical spacecraft and juggle it around at the very end. How much more do we have on Richard? Oh, he's got to go soon, doesn't he?
Lunch, maybe. At least
I got this shot and one more, and we'll be okay. We should be able to get him out by noon. That's okay. That's fine. So I can see.
1 second. Wait a minute. Okay.
Okay, ready, Jimmy, and action!
Well, V is a story about many things at once. It's the story of the takeover of the Earth from another planet, people from another planet, but it's also the story of how people respond during wartime. Some people won't allow their neighbors any space for hiding, and other people say, yes, you can come into my house, I'll protect you because all men are my brothers. Other people bury their heads in the sand. And so it's a story about, it's an adventure story. It's a mystery and it's an adventure, but it also touches on the way human behavior works. Well, I think there are some of us who look at obstacles as insurmountable, and there are some of us who look at obstacles as challenges to overcome and opportunities to better ourselves and to live up to our own promise as human beings. The guy that I'm playing is Mike Donovan. He's a person that tries his best to live up to the promise of being a human being. He feels a sense of responsibility toward other people, so he doesn't lie down under the yoke when the Earth is being taken over. He fights back. He becomes the strong arm of the resistance. He does what the man on the other side of this lens does in real life. He's a photographer. A news cameraman is what he is, and that allows him access into the alien craft and also gives him a nice standpoint to view all of humanity. Very often, newsmen are allowed to go places that the rest of us civilians aren't able to go, and so it provides a good format for this guy to get in where the bad guys are and see what they're doing. I had to do some very strenuous special preparation for this. I had to keep down the bubble of enthusiasm and joy so that when I got on the set, I looked like a professional. I wasn't giggling in front of the cameras all the time. And the second thing that I had to do was our producer, Chuck Bowman, was very kind in establishing liaisons between myself and real news photographers and real news teams. And in that way, I was able to assimilate some of the real aspects of the heroism of these people's professions. I don't think that any of us know exactly what kind of heroes are in different trades in our society. But I think some of the greatest heroes that exist are in the news profession, those people that bring us tapes from destruction in El Salvador, and people that bring us tapes of the Vietnam crisis and things like that. These are people that lay their lives on the lines so that humanity can be informed as to what it's doing and how to rectify situations that it doesn't like. It's a nice thing being an actor because when you portray a fellow that has such strong characteristics as Donovan does in V, they begin to rub off on me, Mark Singer. And so I begin to have some of those same traits and learn from this show. And hopefully the good qualities of our heroes in this production of V will also have a positive effect on the audience that watches us. V presents a very wonderful opportunity for an actor because we're limited as actors only by the scope of our imagination, which means that as far as we can imagine the universe is as far as we can go with our imaginations. So in V, sometimes we're working with actual people, and sometimes we're working with optical effects. And when we're working with optical effects on V, it allows the actor the opportunity to let his imagination run rampant. And basically all I can tell you is that when it comes to dealing with special effects, you're looking at a spaceship that isn't in fact there. If you've been given a description of what is there, the excitement of what the audience is going to see generally fills that imaginative gap for you.